Good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday, September 16th. I think I've got that correct. The thing about being in the woods is to really look around, be familiar with your area, and look at things that don't belong. What you're seeing there is a small tree that's been shoved upside down into a tree stump. So, I'm going to come out here. Well, looks like I'm going to have to go around in order to get myself in the shot for any reason. Alright. It is a little chilly out here. Hope this is picking up on sound okay. But the whole point here is really pay attention, because what you're looking for is things that don't belong. Things that don't look natural, things that don't look normal. So, this is kind of the first filming that I'm going to do. It's going to be kind of rough. It's just me. I'm not typically a video cameraman. I am a cameraman, though. I've been taking pictures my entire life, but photography is a whole different thing. But the way I do it is researching. Is I pick an area, I stand in one spot. These are areas I'm familiar with. I go back to time after time after time. When you start finding even small things like this, it's a marker for something. It means something. I've been coming to this area for 40 years. I didn't recognize things for most of that time as being anything to do with Sasquatch, just like most hunters or most any hikers wandering through the woods that has no education whatsoever on the subject. Once I started learning about tree structures and the different things, I really started paying attention to things, and I started seeing them everywhere. And that's what's going to make the difference in you finding the right areas. Because why would they put these things up or make things to get our attention if it wasn't an area they're going to frequent? Otherwise, that's a waste of energy. The thing you got to understand about the Sasquatch people is that for something so big, they're going to want to conserve their energy. The reason they go up and down some of the steepest places is for a good reason. You can't follow them, and they know that. So this is an interesting thing, and this is something I would like to share with you folks, and that is name your structures. Give them names. Stanley calls this Excalibur. I've known about this one for years. You guys have, if anybody's been on my page and followed me for under my real name, William Morris, my name's not the Sasquatch Puzzle. It is my creation. And yes, I'm the administrator and owner and operator. I have been having interactions with these forest people as of next month. Actually, I'd say it's about 45 years, but next month will be 44 years. This area that I'm in, not more than, I would say about 2 miles, maybe 2.5 miles from here, is where my whole research began. I had my fifth sighting here. I actually called them to me. Very strange. If you've heard my podcast, which I suggest you do, especially with Bigfoot Society. I got to be more detailed. Matter of fact, Jeremiah Byron's a good friend of mine, who is the administrator, owner, operator, and now he's a Sasquatch experiencer. I sort of kind of helped him with that. Yeah, that's me stepping in there. It's a little chilly out this morning, even though it's supposed to be in the 90s today. Up here, it'll be about 70, maybe even a little cooler. Another good reason for me coming up here, because on a hot summer day, it's a great place to beat the heat. So, that being said, on my page here on the Sasquatch Puzzle, you can actually find my interviews. Just scroll on down until you find them. We've just been started posting, or I've just started posting here just recently. I put up Stanley came up with our logo of the puzzle piece. The gradient that you see of the color on that piece is for a reason. They visit Stan, and outside his place he has a sodium bulb, which is a street light, and those colors actually come up on a street light, which, if you know anything about sodium bulbs, it's impossible. He'll go out there and the ground is illuminated in green and his bulb is illuminated. It goes to red, it goes to blues. So that was the inspiration for the color gradient on our logo there. Things may change. We don't know. It could be ever changing. But I really like how that turned out, and it kind of goes with what Stan and I go through. Stan had an experience. Matter of fact, Stan's had 4 experiences up here in 2 days. He's got to see 4 incidents of Sasquatches while he was sitting there looking at them. I was watching him, and both of them happened. One happened just up the road here, about a mile. The other one was at my site number 5, which he saw what he feels was a cloaked Sasquatch in an area where that type of effect should never happen. We're not in a desert. We're not in a high desert. These are areas that don't give you those heat rising signals that look like when you're in the desert, mirage. That doesn't happen up here. We don't have those type of conditions, no matter how hot it gets. So he saw that, and directly as he was turning to me and telling me, I looked in the same direction, and I saw my juvenile in a spider crawl in the same spot. So that pretty much tells me that, well, yeah, he saw something, and then poof, it appeared. He didn't get to see my juvenile at that time. I did. Then we came up the next day. We found prints. And so we came up to Castos the next day. And while we were sitting there, he saw that anomaly again, but he saw in that little shimmer of feet walking across the road. It was very cool. And he looked at me and goes, what did I just see? Did you see that? I'm like, no. You know, a lot of times it's not meant for one person or the other. It's meant for a specific person to see. The Sasquatch people are very interesting. Matter of fact, if they were here and they wanted to pop up in the background, I'm more than happy for them to do so. They do it for friends of mine. Matter of fact, my friend Dawn gets it on film all the time. She's gotten Dogman, she's gotten Sasquatches, and she's experiences a lot of weirdness every day. But she's in a position where I'm not. I have a 9-to-5 job. Well, it's not 9 to 5. I work graveyard. So I spend my time working nights throwing freight, which keeps me in a modicum of shape. But the whole point here is to really look around your environment. Spend 15 minutes in a spot where you know where everything's at. If you start finding tree structures, mark those spots. If you got a GPS, if you have an iPhone, your iPhone actually, if you take a picture, has the GPS coordinates, and you can punch it into any road map app on your phone, those coordinates, and get right back to that spot. Those are the places you want to continue to go to. frequent those places every chance you get. This is an interesting piece. The bottom section of this is the root section of this tree. It has a lot of bird's eye in it, and what that tells me that this particular thing, it didn't come from right here. Bird's eye grows in a specific spot where it's very, very shaded. And the reason it turns to bird's eye is because they produce a lot of small branches out, which causes the bird's eye effect, if you know what bird's eye is. It has to put all those branches out so it can get every little amount of sunshine that it possibly can. So this is a really cool piece. It's a piece that I would love to take home and do some woodwork on, but I have the feeling they wish this piece to stay there. So always trust your intuitions. Ask permission before you take something or disturb something. If you want to take home a tree break or something, if you actually see them and you think to take a picture, ask them first. I have 2 pictures that I took on my number 6 sighting. And a matter of fact, the 13th, just 3 days ago, was my 3-year anniversary of that sighting. And I was with my juvenile, I got to see my juvenile and the female. It was the coolest thing in the world, and I spent an hour and a half in their presence. And I think everybody can do this, but the big thing is you got to have the heart for it. They can read you like an open book. If you're not exactly the good person, or you're not doing good things and you don't have good things in your heart and your mind, it's probably never going to happen for you. If you mean them any kind of ill will or intent to harm them, it's never going to happen for you. They allow me to be armed. They always have, because my first sighting that I had was not one of this family. It was actually one that I've never seen again. And he was an adult male, seemed to be about 7.5 feet tall, but was a thin build. Another thing you need to understand is they come in all shapes and sizes, just like we do. All personalities, just as we do. Some like us, some absolutely despise us. Some, they don't care for us too much, but they will have interactions with us. So that being said, this is a good starter here of things. Like I said, spend 15 minutes looking around your area. Walk about 50 feet another direction and spend another 15 minutes. Each time you do that, just take steps up in increments where you know there is anything, including something like this. It seems kind of basic. It doesn't seem really big. It's not. It's a subtle sign. And sometimes their signs are very subtle and very small, like when they reach over and bust a small branch and do this little wrap around it. It's a tree. It's a marker. And it may be a marker for a trail. We don't really know, but I'm assuming that's what it is, because I found it in specific places where they pass through. Often. Stan and I found one fresh up here. Matter of fact, that's on the main picture on the page on a Sasquatch Puzzle. So biggest thing is to start out finding the tree structures, which we're going to go through several of them. Some of them are crude because they're made from juveniles making them, that they're learning as they're growing up. Some are very large and intricate, that are made by the alphas or the entire family. You know, it's not done by just one. If it's a single Sasquatch going around, you'll probably just get tree breaks. But if it's a family of them or a clan of them, you're going to find all kinds of stuff. There's a lot of people that don't believe in the tree structures. They think a bunch of Boy Scouts travel the world, mind you, and make all these. The Yowie of Australia, in the UK, you've got, what do they call them? Big Meter. You've got 500 names for these creatures. You know, Canada is Sasquatch. Sasquatch, I believe is how it's pronounced, from the Salish tribe, if I'm correct. Is where that name came from. It wasn't wasn't Roger Patterson and Bob Gimlin that came up with the name. It was Jerry Crew, who, when interviewed by a reporter back in the late 50s, is when he started finding things, when his road crew was making roads into Bluff Creek area. And he said it had a very big foot, and that name stuck from that point on. I don't think they much care for that name. Personally, I call them the Forest People. So let's stop on that note. This will be the first one of many, and I'll do a couple more today, I'm sure. I'm hoping to hear from Stan. Ron Moorhead's supposed to be in town today and tomorrow, so hopefully we can hook up with him. I'm just waiting for a text from Stan if he gets his buns out of bed. He's not exactly an early riser, and also takes lots of coffee to get him rocking, which I understand. Me too. All right. This is first one done and done.